Fall is here, and it's the perfect time for grilling. From tailgating to cozy family dinners, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience right to your door. As America's original butcher since 1917, they offer USDA-certified tender steaks hand-cut by master butchers in the heartland. Enjoy juicy burgers, convenient comfort meals, and game day favorites like chicken wings and deli-style franks. Their grass-fed, grain-finished beef delivers exceptional marbling and flavor that professional chefs trust worldwide. Plus, every bite is backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee. Get fired up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot Sale event, and for an extra $35 off, use promo code EATSTEAK at checkout. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $35 off with promo code EATSTEAK at checkout. See site for details.
Looking to refresh the style in your home? Here at Mathis Home, we can help you find exactly what you need during our spring style event. Whether you're looking for a rustic farmhouse, classic, or modern and eclectic, we have all the latest looks that will leave your home feeling brand new. Whatever your style, we can help you find it at the lowest price. Because not only do we want you to feel good in your home, we know that to earn your business, our prices have to be the best. So come to the spring style event at your furniture superstore, Mathis Home.
The amazing Kate Casey.
Welcome back for another episode of Reality Life with Kate Casey. I hope that you're having a great week, and this is such a great midweek episode. I'm back with my old pal, Patrick Hickey. He is co-host of Bad TV Podcast, and we're going to talk about a number of shows and series, including The Real Housewives of Orange County on Bravo. Patrick has lots of opinions. The new announcement with regard to The Bachelorette on ABC, they chose a cast member from The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So there are a lot of questions about that. We talk a little bit about the Charlie Sheen documentary on Netflix, and Patrick has some stories about Charlie Sheen. We also talk about Thirst Trap on Paramount Plus and a little bit about The Valley on Bravo. Patrick's one of those friends who watches a ton of shows too, so it's kind of fun to just kind of get in a riff. We also talk about his time period as a boy band member, something that continues to amuse me. I can't even imagine what it must have been like in a boy band. His band was called the Crash Poets, and they were formed in Chicago, and they had songs including Beautiful, Goodbye, Never, Tidal Wave. I mean, can you imagine making up songs? And then, oh my God, the hair products. So we talk about, for example, how when you're in a boy band, you cannot let anybody know you have a girlfriend. You have to be perpetually single. So think back in time of all some of the boy bands in history and all the gross things that they were doing behind the scenes, but yet still perpetuating this idea that they were just out there desperately hoping mid-ballad to look out into the audience and to just pluck someone from the audience and that would be his wife. I mean, it is lunacy now that you look back and think about it. So we talk a little bit about that too. Make sure, by the way, that you head over to my What to Watch list, because I know that Patrick's going to watch a bunch of this stuff, but you should too. There are a lot of reality shows that are premiering this week, including Dancing with the Stars and The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I've begun to watch the next season of Love is Blind. And I'm already telling you guys, there's stuff we need to unpack with that season too. So I'm all willing that if Chris DeRosa is off of his TV project, he will be available to get into that as well. So we have lots of plans for the fall, you and I. And I hope that you're in the Facebook group too, because I love to see you guys riff about this stuff. Your DMs make me laugh so hard. Is there anything better than just watching something and then finding someone else in the world that has also watched it and wants to talk about it? So a super fun episode. Again, make sure that you are subscribed to this podcast. Also check out the bonus podcast. Now, coming next month, we will begin a series with Mary Payne from Pink Shade. It's going to be super funny bonus podcast series. So make sure that you are subscribed on Apple Podcast, also on Patreon, and sit back and relax because this is a super fun episode with Patrick Hickey. Okay, Pat, first thing I have to tell you is there's a 2-part doc that you need to watch on Amazon Prime. It's called Thirst Trap. I'm going to tell you why. picture it. 50 and 60-year-old women during COVID started watching TikToks of a 21-year-old landscaper from Canada. They lost their mind because he was lip syncing to Barry Manilow songs.
I saw the trailer. Okay.
They lost their minds. They were flying and doing girls' trips to Canada to follow him and to see him out and about in town. The level in which you have to get to find yourself on a plane with a group of other women to go and stalk a 21-year-old that you found on TikTok is the moment where you ask yourself where it all went wrong.
Yeah, actually, you're drawing some memories. Okay, so this guy was a big deal, during COVID, right?
Yeah.
And he amassed like a small fortune by making money on TikTok.
They're just sending him crazy.
Oh boy.
But then it turns because then he, wants a girlfriend and then they get mad. And then remember the group of women that went to visit him in Canada? Well, he had sex with one of them and then the others found out and they lost their minds. So there were two factions. And then he started getting angry and started talking back to them, calling them whores and stuff. And then they felt bitter and resentful. And so this whole thing happened. Then he dives into addiction issues. But is he still online? He sure is.
When you're in a boy band, as I was, the number one rule of boy band is you don't have a girlfriend and you're not dating anybody. You have to be open to your audience so that you never ruin the belief that they could date you.
Well, let's go back to that for a moment when you were in the boy band. Did that really trouble you? Like, if I've got a girlfriend, like no one can see her. She's got to hide in the back of the car. And please don't ever admit that you're with me because this is going to totally damage my career.
We did an interview in which the interviewer asked, if we were single or not. And I said, I threw off the answer like, I want to date all three Dixie chicks or something like that. Right? Yeah. Listening into the interview, I'd forgotten what I said. With the girl, I was with my girlfriend in the car at the time. She was pissed.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, the aftermath of the boy band, do you ever just like bebop to those songs in the shower on a run?
No. By the way, we did our first showcase at a warehouse. The singer was dating a girl and she invited Charlie Sheen to come check us out. And he was there to have sex with her.
No. What was this girl's first name?
God, it's been so long. I thought about it when I was going to mention it to remember her name, but God, she was beautiful. And she was trying to be a singer too. Yeah. But but I remember him, I was seeing him leave and he did the old, this is before everyone had a cell phone, dating myself. He went call me with your, your fingers up to your mouth and call me. Yeah, that must have been like pre him getting on sitcom televisions. Or maybe it was like after Spin City in between 2.5 Men. Yeah.
Did you get the feeling when you saw him, this is a man deep in drug addiction, or he just seemed like easy breezy?
He looked completely bloated, like he was a big drinker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had a heavy phase, which they didn't show in that doc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if he had said to you, I'd like to join this boy band at that point in his career and yours? Would that have happened?
I don't think that would have worked. I think he's like 15 years older than us. But, just because this doc, I'm not going to even say that doc was good, the Charlie Sheen doc we're talking about. I'm curious what your thoughts are on it. It just seemed like it was the same story over and over again in his life.
Mm.
But me moving to Los Angeles and then seeing some of these people at kind of the height of their power and their addictions, it was like mind-blowing. Quick story. Kiefer Sutherland, another one of those, the same era of people and actors. And this is similar to Charlie Sheen too, with respect to his work ethic and kind of being able to compartmentalize, like, this is where I party and then this is where I show up to work and these are two separate worlds. Kiefer Sutherland came to one of our shows at the El Rey Theater in Los Angeles. Kiefer Sutherland was so drunk, he was blackout drunk. Oh. And after the show, we came back and I was working at the insurance company and one of my best friends was a little person named Bob. We were carpool buddies. Bob came to the show. Kiefer and him make out in the dressing room. And Kiefer starts telling him, I go, what did Kiefer tell you? And he said, he told me that he's done bad things and he's going to hell. Full on making out with Bob, right? No judgment there. Do we want? The next day, it just so happens we're driving to our insurance job, me and Bob, and we're kind of recapping the night. There is the show 24 on location right next to our office. Kiefer's in a police car, not being arrested, but as an actor, he was fully awake. Like 7 hours earlier, blackout drunk. It's 6 a.m. He is fully at work. And I'm just like, whoa. Sorry, maybe that's a lame story, but I just...
No, it's interesting because, I mean, if you had told me he worked in an accounting office, I'd think, how is that even possible? But the circumstances in which they work and the people that encircle them, they make it possible for these people to be the wild addicts that they are and still function somehow.
Okay, I am no longer in touch with this person, but actress, did a couple sitcoms, amassed a fortune, full-on drug addict, sleep till noon, start with the Casamigos, and then take a nap, get back up, and then party into the night, rinse, repeat every single day. 2 assistants, one handled her personal affairs, the other one was basically just her drug mule and keeping the ship going. And I would tell my wife, I said, it's money. If this person did not have this money, she would be sleeping on a sidewalk right now. But she's been able to insulate this lifestyle very much like Charlie was because she could buy people, buy off people, buy the good drugs as opposed to the ones that could, well, they can all kill you. But yeah, that's the one thing that kind of touched me with this Charlie doc. It's like he was able to do this because of his fame and money. No one else can do this. No one could.
Oh, no. I mean, if it was a woman or a person of color, all of the things, I mean, even one of those chapters, career over. And he just getting handed an opportunity. And the fact that he's like screaming about the executives and then they're still working with them. Like, when would that ever happen?
So they left a lot of stuff out of this doc. One of the fun things I like about docs where they show you the 90s and 2000s is I see all the footage and I'm reminded of like seeing it for the first time when I was much younger. And so it kind of takes me back. There was a lot of this. They left out that he had barred a sex worker into a hotel room in New York and essentially kept her hostage there. Like, we're just going to gloss over that. What have we reached?
I agree with you. All of the stuff about the women. I mean, the fact that he didn't disclose that he had HIV to the one woman. I mean, the fact that he wasn't a present father, what he put the women and the children in his life through, and that I felt like was skipped over too.
Here's the crazy part. I know he's charming, but let's not sugarcoat this. He's a horrible human being.
Yeah.
He was not a good dad. He was violent. He was physically abusive. He drug addict. I mean, it just... He should have been in prison for most of what he did, but he was able to buy his way out of it. Here's the one thing that grabbed me. Multiple women that he did absolutely horrible things to in his life are still friends with him.
Unbelievable.
I broke up with a girl 20 years ago that I was dating for a year, and I told her it was just because I wanted to move on and do new things. She has never spoken to me. Charlie Sheen assaulted women, and they're on a dock laughing about it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow. If he were not famous and wealthy at points, would they still participate?
No.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't think Denise would. And I'm glad they touched on that. Brooke Mueller is still struggling because clearly in the interview, she's still struggling. Yeah. All right. So the first scene fascinated me. Well, they start out with every doc where they got to find a new way to start docs, by the way. John Cryer sitting in a folding chair and getting makeup applied and go, are we ready to start? Like, we got to find a new way to start docs. But then they jump to that crazy story where he's partying on that 747 and finds his way in the cockpit, completely loaded on drugs, and they let him fly the plane.
Sick.
Here's the good thing about our culture now. People are super famous, but it's not the entire world looking at one famous person. Now, I used to say in the 80s, there were 30 famous people. Now there's 3 million, and it's all just fragmented into these little groups. Like, I was at Petco yesterday. Swartz from Vanderpump Rules is in line with me. There's 10 people there. Not a single person acknowledges him or knows him. And he's looking around to get noticed.
Was he really?
Single person. Yeah, he's always doing that. I saw Ralph's last week because he lives like around the corner from here. And, but now it's like, but he's famous and he's made money being on television. I can't imagine that Austin Butler walks in the cockpit, knocks on the door and says, hi, I want to fly the plane. And they let him. And there's too many cameras now. And just the pilot's probably like, I don't even know who you are. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a crazy story, speaking to the power of fame in the 80s and 90s.
Absurd.
On Boxing Day 2018, 20-year-old Joy Morgan was last seen at her church, Israel United in Christ, or IUIC.
I just went on my Snapchat and I just see her face plastered everywhere.
This is The Missing Sister, the true story of a woman betrayed by those she trusted most.
IUIC is my family and like the best family that I've ever had.
But IUIC isn't like most churches.
This is a devilish cult.
You know when you get that feeling where you just, I don't want to be here. I want to get out. It's like that feeling of, like, I want to go home now.
I'm Charlie Brinkhurst-Cuff, and after years of investigating Joy's case, I need to know, what really happened to Joy? Binge all episodes of The Missing Sister exclusively and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus. Start your free trial of Wondery Plus on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or in the Wondery app.
Hi, I'm Denise Chan, host of Scam Factory. You might remember hearing about our investigative series that exposed what's really happening behind those suspicious texts you get. Inside heavily guarded compounds across Asia, thousands are trapped and forced to scam others or risk torture. One of our most powerful stories was Jella's, a young woman who thought she'd found her dream job, only to end up imprisoned in a scam compound. Her escape story caught the attention of Criminal's Phoebe Judge, and I'm honored to share more details of Jella's journey with their audience. But Jella's story is just one piece of this investigation. In Scam Factory, we reveal how a billion-dollar criminal empire turns job seekers into prisoners, and how the only way out is to scam your way out. Ready to uncover the full story? Binge all episodes of Scam Factory now. Listen to Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What did you also make of the Corey Haim story? I say that I have no reason to believe it didn't happen.
Fair. I cover Corey Feldman quite a bit on a show that we do on our network called PMZ. He is a pathological liar and will say and do anything to kind of become relevant. So that's still questionable. But the one thing that it did get cleared up was when he made that allegation, I was like, I'm pretty sure Charlie is exclusive to women. And then when it's revealed at the end of this doc that he's actually, engaged sexually with other men, I was like, okay, that opens the door now. Mm-hmm. That was one of my... So, yeah. I mean, people on drugs, they'll do anything.
Yeah. I think that one's going to stay with me for a long time, but not for the right reasons. I didn't think it was like very well made, but just hearing him have just no regard for what he put his children and the wives through. I mean, some would argue he has a little bit, but I mean, not to the degree you would expect him to.
Having seen people go through the process of being addicts and then getting treatment and recovery, I have not seen, watching him on camera, see that he's actually done any work at all. Mm-hmm. It's just his friendly stuff, less drugs, less alcohol, and now he's made amends on a certain level with some of his children. But no, I didn't see the work done there. I mean, I'm not a doctor.
Also, the fact that the drug dealer was in the doc.
And by the way, he's the real hero of the doc. If you remember, as a chemist, he slowly lowered the dosage of crack cocaine to wind him down off of it. Yeah. I'm like, insane. God, there were a couple other things in this doc.
Okay, you're the documentary filmmaker, and you're talking to your team. You're like, we have his dealer. Should we include him? How many people were like, maybe not?
I think it speaks to the crazy world that Charlie surrounded himself with. There's a scene where he is on the phone, he's manic, and he just got the call that he's been fired from 2.5 Men. He's got 5 idiots there hanger-oners all fist bumping him. Like that was a good move.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so the drug dealers all part of that. Just they're all there for the party and the money. And then once all that dries up, they all go away.
Ugh. Well, let's talk about another deeply disturbing story. And that would be the roofing of Orange
Naked
County.
Wasted.
How do you feel about this season thus far? And we're heading towards the end, and there's evidently a big reveal at the end that Gretchen may be following accounts that are unsavory. So what do you think?
I wouldn't put it past her. I actually started liking Gretchen at the beginning of the season. Then I was reminded that she's pretty messy too. So I'm enjoying this season. Katie is great television, but I think probably a horrible person and very sketchy. I do think there needs to be a cast shakeup at the end of the season. As much as I love Emily and Gina, I don't really think they're adding much. And to be fair, Heather Dubrow isn't. It's just fun to see her wealth. I mean, the Dubrows have two storylines. Our children are fucking amazing. Sorry, curse there. And what real estate are we buying? That's it. Those are their scenes.
Mm-hmm.
What's our next real estate endeavor and how amazing are our children?
Yeah, the kid thing is tricky. Like, I think that the kids are best when they're roasting the parents, because ultimately every person who's a house parent on these shows, husband, wife, whatever, they want you to believe that they have not only a great marriage, but they also are exemplary parents. And when the kids are older, like the Keogh kids, they were basically openly, and Vicky's kids, openly roasting their parents. And that to me is funny. So any other scene where it's like little kids playing or braggadocio when it comes to your children's achievements, like that's not interesting to me.
How do you feel about Emily kind of sharing about her child Luke's struggles? I maybe it's helpful to others, and maybe that's why she's bringing it up on the show. But for me, I think it's inappropriate because the kids are too young.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that they should play a big part as the husbands. I love that Eddie will disappear for like 90% of the season, because Katie's husband, Matt, I cannot figure that guy out. When I watch Katie and him do a scene together, I am like, how many times did you two practice this?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because they have an agenda of kind of steering their storyline somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And just him saying like, in the last episode, he's like, look, I talked to Slade. Look at the call log. Look at my call log. Like, who talks to a guy for 40 minutes on a phone?
By the way, I am imagining you and your wife, and you're on a show, and she's not teeing you up, and you're like, let me go through my phone log. I could never see you doing that ever. Ever.
Absolutely not. I wonder, and of course, this is all alleged. This is just coming out of me, just the thought. What financial situation are they in where Matt feels the need to jump in here and offer assistance to his wife to stay on this show?
Well, also, when we first met him, I think he was transitioning from like working within a company, like for the Golf Channel, and then he went out as a consultant. So I think that gives someone a little bit more liberty to be on a show. I think most spouses are probably like, there's little I can do because I don't want this to affect my job. But if he's a consultant, in the same way, I don't think it really affects Slade. I don't know how you can make a show with the cast that they have and make it work anymore. I think it has to change.
Yeah, I agree with that. Back to Tamra. So she's done some pretty horrible things throughout her stint on this show. The naked wasted thing, that was crazy. We all watched that 15 years ago, and it was wildly entertaining, but also very inappropriate. And I'm talking about pushing her son essentially to go be sexual with Gretchen while she was completely drunk. Mm-hmm. And then just throughout the years, not really being a friend to anybody. She's the queen of, if you give her a piece of information, she will definitely call you out on it. And, the going on a podcast and talking about Slade after he'd lost his son, who'd been struggling, I hadn't realized almost his entire life with health issues.
Yeah.
And even have something to say about that on a podcast, on a personal level, I'm not a fan of Tamra. I just think she's horrible. So I thought this season the cast was just going to all turn on her, and then Katie arrives, and Katie is so sketchy that I think most of the cast can't stand her, and so now all their ire has turned to her, and the heat's off Tamra.
Well, also, I think that the audience is so starved for new, interesting people. So, of course, they're going to embrace Katie. You've had the same women on for a decade. Their lives don't change that much. And I think these shows have to adapt all the time to make sure it's a modern story. And if you keep the same cast and they are all like white women, I live here. I mean, maybe it's very white in one certain town, but like the reality, there's so many cultures here. It is a very diverse area. It's just drive 5 minutes outside of that, that vicinity. So of course they're going to embrace her. Of course people are going to want more interesting storylines. So if the network is surprised by this reaction, I would be surprised. Get new people. Get new people.
Vicky's great television. I mean, I don't know who she's dating now, but it's not going to end well.
She can be on another channel, but we don't need, like, I know that woman's life. I don't need to ever see her on the show again.
Yeah. Well, all right. Sorry. Different subject. A show that I think you used to at least talk about, or The Bachelorette. We covered for many years. We recapped episodes, basically just dying. They did one move in the last week that I finally saw as a good move, which is they did not pluck a person out of that universe of Bachelor people. They found a very, the girl, right? She's got 3 guy
Taylor
names.
Frankie Paul. Yeah.
Yes. She will make great television, and she will get eyeballs back on that screen because she's new. She's new to that world. And I think that's going to be a great season.
Also, she follows the trend, which is the embracing the mess and following the headlines in real time, which is why the Chrisleys show does well. I just did a video about this. The Chrisleys Back to Reality. People like that because it is talking about this family scandal in real time. They like watching The Real Housewives of Orange County in some way because they are talking about fourth wall stuff, which is their reputation. Every reality show now is breaking the fourth wall to some degree. So if they had not adopted that and still had been choosing the person who has a perfect cookie cutter life, their parents are still married, they go to church every Sunday, they're basically a virgin. It doesn't work in the current media climate. She is what the movement is. And also, the truth is, because she's an influencer, she's going to get more eyeballs in a way that someone plucked from obscurity or even from a prior cast would, because they just don't have the numbers anymore. But she has more cultural power than some of these television shows do.
I often wonder, with all this money, speaking specifically of Bachelor or Bachelorette, why did it take them so long to realize this?
Because it's network TV. And network TV, it was like, well, we've got this template. A lot of these shows, and I'm talking Housewives too, I think, that they feel like it's easy to make. We have the same team. We could just plug it in. We film it for this amount of time, and then we send it off. We're not going to get a lot of notes back. It's easy to do. It's more risky to divert from plan to get new cast members. It's like networks, especially during COVID, would just use old IP because it's just easier. No one wants to take a risk anymore. And that includes getting new cast members. Caveat that with, I do think it's a double-edged sword to only look for people that have huge followers, because that doesn't necessarily mean they're an interesting person. I'm not speaking specifically about Taylor Frankie Paul. I'm just saying networks right now, they look, and that is a podcast network, that's a television network, whatever it may be. Currency right now is how many followers you have. But that, again, doesn't mean that somebody has a compelling enough story for people to watch.
Right. I always think it's weird when you're watching a movie and you're like, because I'm old, I'm like, who is that? And my wife will be like, they're kind of a bad actor in the movie. I'm like, yeah, this person seems like what? And my wife's like, oh, that huge TikToker. And I'm like, so they just put this person in this
but that's the era we're living
movie?
In. So of course the Bachelorette's going to get a TikToker. So that's probably why she wasn't named to Dancing with the Stars and the other two were, because they had that in their back pocket.
By the way, I may watch Dancing with the Stars because it has Corey Feldman.
Oh, by the way, one other thing about the Taylor Frankie Paul. We are so programmed now to just know that this whomever she chooses or the finalists, or it's an absolute joke. I mean, she is not someone that on paper would be like a shoo-in. I mean, she's not going to move from Utah. She has said this. She says she's open and would actually prefer to date someone who's not Mormon, but I would assume that's what they were told her to say, because who would date her, right? She has children, all this stuff. So we're all like, this is not going to work already. The big surprise will be if she actually does find love.
That's right. All right. So misstep, and I said this on Reality Steve last year. What a lost opportunity to not follow the couple after they get engaged.
Yes.
Like, no one thought of picking up a camera and going like,
well, no, they did that once. They did that once with Ben Higgins and Lauren before they broke it off. And they broke it off when you watched it. You're like, they actually have nothing in common.
Oh,
it was brutal. It was actually pretty brutal to watch.
Who is it Jason who picked a girl and then at the reunion or the tell-all picks the other girl?
Yeah.
I would have loved to have been able to watch that unfold.
Yeah.
Although it was a great reveal. But these people are under contract, right? So you're like, okay, we get to film you 3 months after you guys getting engaged. And here's the house that you're going to live in. Mm-hmm. And we're just going to film you. And it'd be interesting to see them get on each other's nerves. I mean, the Golden Bachelor, Gary and I think it was Teresa, they got married with all this hoopla. Like it was a 3-hour with live red carpet. They lasted 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, but we could have called that because he was jonesing for somebody who was going to pay his bills.
It's your man, Nick Cannon, and I'm here to bring you my new podcast, Nick Cannon at Night. I've heard y'all been needing some advice in the love department. So who better to help than yours truly? Nah, I'm serious. Every week, I'm bringing out some of my celebrity friends and the best experts in the business to answer your most intimate relationship questions. Having problems with your man? We got you. Catching feelings for your sneaky link? Let's make sure it's the real deal first. Ready to bring toys into the bedroom? Let's talk about it. Consider this a non-judgment zone to ask your questions when it comes to sex and modern dating in relationships, friendships, situationships, and everything in between. It's gonna be sexy, freaky, messy, and you know what? You'll just have to watch the show. So don't be shy. Join the conversation and head over to YouTube to watch Nick Cannon at Night or subscribe on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. Want to watch episodes early and ad-free? Join Wondery Plus right now.
I have a better idea because we've seen the Ben Higgins and Lauren go downhill and they were frankly too boring. You get a Melrose Place style setup and you have the newly engaged couple and then you have other singles from that Bachelor Nation like vortex and they all have to live together because the people that are single are like these two that are engaged are so annoying. And then they're going to have doubts because they just met each other on a TV show and they see that the other people are having fun and someone's going to slip up and hook up at the hot tub.
Love it. All right. I'm going to steal some of your idea and I'm going to graft it onto my own. All right. Okay. This is why we're producers. Okay. Yeah. And Bachelor people, producers, I know you listen to KKC. Don't steal this idea. You owe us both money. How about run the Bachelorette and Bachelor seasons simultaneously?
Okay, I'm into that already. Yes.
Okay. In the house, and you can put this on multiple nights a week because we would watch it because
I like that.
Now there's opportunities for all the suitors, both female and male, that are going on the prospective seasons to mingle with one another.
I'm into it.
So relationships are starting to unfold. While you're like say the Bachelor is like, hey, Tony, I'm having a great time with you, but I got word that you went for lunch with, Teresa yesterday.
Right.
And it would just add so much drama. And it's actually closer to kind of the real world. We're all actively dating out there. But someone puts themselves out there as, all right, I'm ready to meet someone now. All right, Bachelor, don't steal Kate and I's idea.
Well, also it's good too, because to keep up with anything in pop culture is you literally have to be on it like all day because everybody is so open on social media and things change moment to moment. So like the way that they produce that show, like it was filmed a while ago and everything has to be super secretive. It's like, well, I already know that person's actually single because I saw a video of them at Stagecoach making out with someone. So like, let's be real. Which was the hiccup that Keeping Up with the Kardashians had with the E! Show, was it was taking too much time from film to print. And they felt with the Hulu show, they were able to put it out faster. And they were also able to, for some, I don't know how, but like keep some things still private. So that when it came on the Hulu show, it was the first that people had seen of it.
Everyone should take note of what Love Island did. My wife, I don't know how many episodes of that, but I'd come home during the summer. It seemed like every single night, and she's watching an episode because it's being filmed that day or the day before, and you're watching in real time. And there's, social media is involved. So yeah, I think a lot of these shows like The Bachelor, in order to survive in this climate, might have to go real time live.
I agree. But I always like that too about Big Brother, when they would have the option where you could watch the live feeds and then somebody on Reddit would like give you a recap of it. I kind of always love that. Like you could dip in and out, and then the good people that watched it, like crazy people, would like inform you of all developments.
How long have you been watching Big Brother?
I was much more into it in the first seasons. I remember when Jamie Kern was on it and she had this option. They said, okay, you can talk to your family or talk to an agent. What do you choose? And she chose the agent because she'd been like a Miss America. And people ripped her apart. I was like, of course you're going to talk to the agent. You can talk to your mom after this stupid show's over.
Exactly. Well, they filmed that in Studio City at Radford. And the little outside area that they created for them is just outside a soundstage. And I remember one of the players had, I don't think he murdered somebody. He killed somebody. And someone rented a plane with a sign that flew over the exterior of that soundstage when they were outside saying, so-and-so is a murderer.
Wow.
Imagine, do you remember that? That was great television.
Wow.
Talking about reality TV though, do you remember, do you remember Gigolos?
Oh, I did. There was my friend made a Peacock doc about it. Yeah.
Oh my God, I have to watch that.
Oh yeah, you have to. It's like 3 episodes.
All right. Did it cover Ash, who ends up doing acid with his girlfriend and murders her?
Yes, it's basically all about that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then they interview the other gigolos.
Oh, they do?
I never watched that, but I watched the doc.
Do you know who the executive producer of that show was? Richard Greco from 21 Jump Street.
I didn't know that. They had 2 other guys that they interviewed. No, I didn't know he was involved with that.
Yeah. That was the heyday of reality TV.
By the way, what's Richard Greco doing right now?
He is, I follow him on Instagram. He's a painter and a singer.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's got name recognition. He was famously made fun of on The Night at Roxbury when the 2 characters are like, Richard Greco.
Well, because that would be their hero.
Right. That would be their hero. Gosh, what was I going to say? Oh, do you remember Bunny Ranch on HBO?
I do remember it, yes.
How did you feel about that show? Dennis Hoff and...
Yeah, I never watched it, but I know it. Like, I feel like this is like an enjoyable section of TV for you. Gigolos, Bunny Ranch.
Well, it was...
You probably watched that HBO show with the cab confessions too.
I did.
Of course.
How about like The Girls of Lookout Point, which was sex workers?
I know it, but I didn't watch it. I find sex working to be very depressing.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But it just felt like it was real TV. Like it wasn't being played with. It was like, this is what's taking place.
You know who's really good at that? The A&E channel. They really wanted shows that were very gritty. Like the
arts and entertainment. I love it.
Yes, but it was much more like, people struggling in addiction, like the real heart of it.
Intervention.
They did that stuff much better than everybody else.
Yeah. I wonder what's on there now that's worthy of checking out.
I feel like it's a lot of like prison stuff.
Do they do 60 Days In? My wife loves that show.
Mm-hmm. Go through the list of what is your wife watching? So she watches everything from Love Island to 60 Days In?
Yeah. She loves, of course, like Love Island, any of those dating shows. And then, of course, Housewives. She's like Bravo, which I've ruined it for because now my job is to watch Bravo shows and I have to start and stop to take notes. And she's like, you've ruined this for me.
Does she watch Temptation Island with your neighbor being the host?
She loved it because Mark does his podcast in here and he interviews those people now. And you'll just be looking in my backyard and some very attractive 25-year-old will be walking back here.
Okay, question. When they come to the studio, are they wearing the same outfits? Are they wearing the plastic high heels and like the crop tops? Like, do they look bonkers?
All right, I'm married. I don't want to sound like a pig. There was one girl that walked through here. It was the most beautiful girl, besides my wife,
of course,
I've ever seen. Totally done up, like, yeah.
Because she had to be on camera. But if she, but if she weren't on camera, would you think she would wear like a good Viore jogger and like a comfortable shoe?
If you check out Mark on his Instagram, it's called Bonfire Talks. I think is his podcast that interviews these people. You'll see they all look beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, well, God bless. That's how they buy their cast. He's so good at that show.
He is so good. So So we did a show with him like right before he was about to film last year. I think I can say this. He's filming the next season currently right now. Before he left, and I wasn't sure what, I thought he was just going to be your regular talking head TV host. He has like a therapist component or relationship consultant.
Oh, he sure
component.
does.
So Dylan, my co-host, as we're talking to him, Mark and I are getting along great. We're talking about old reality TV, just great rapport like you and I have. And Mark senses something with Dylan. And he starts like diagnosing him and analyzing him. And Dylan did not like it. And I hadn't realized like Mark was probably like into that, like getting to know people.
Psychoanalyzing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. My co-host was pissed.
Was he?
Yeah. They got into it a little bit because he's like, why are you asking me those questions? And I was like, oh, here we go.
Well, then we know that Dylan would never be good on a reality show like that.
No, he would not. He would not. Gosh. Triggered a lot of thoughts in my mind about like old great reality TV shows. Do you remember there was one called Who's Your Daddy?
Remind me of that one.
Okay. It was a bunch of girls that lived in a house with one another. They didn't know who their dads were. And then a group of dads were in the house and they had to figure out who their dads were. Crazy
That's compelling.
Crazy.
I feel like I would know how to pick it out, maybe.
They look like you, kind of.
Right?
But I mean, so many years had gone by and guys, they don't age well sometimes. So they were probably...
oh God, this is like a poo-poo platter of like disaster.
Do you remember Are You Hot? Hosted.
Yes.
Okay.
Lorenzo Lamas with the light telling people where they're fat.
That's right. He'd have a laser pointer and then they'd grade you on whether or not you were hot or not. By the way, Lorenzo Lamas got his helicopter license and now is a private helicopter pilot that leaves Sun Air and then flies to Palm Springs and just does that for a living now.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Beloved for Greece. The older ladies just lose their mind for him still, I'm sure.
I just watched that with my daughter last week. She loves it.
My mom's high school boyfriend is the director of that movie.
Really?
And then he came out of the closet. Are we surprised? No.
I'm fascinated by your brain, just how much you can soak in of pop culture and then have 5 kids dropping off, picking up, and then be able to speak about as an expert in every single facet of pop culture. Me, I have all these old, like, just this useless information about like, do you remember the guy that was the bad guy in Greece? Oh yeah, he died of AIDS in 1988. Like I don't know why I know these things. What were your thoughts on The Valley this season? Have we talked about how it ended and where it's going?
Okay, now I'm trying to go back in time. I think that Jack should never be on TV. I don't want to watch someone harass an ex or women just in general. I think that people get mad at Nikki. I think that the other cast members get mad at Nia and Danny because they feel like they present this like perfect image, but she's a pageant background. So how do you expect her to do anything other than that? And he was a child actor. So I just kind of think like that's their personalities. Janet, I think, watched the show a long time and probably is more of a producer mind. Maybe is better as a producer and not as a cast member.
I enjoy that show. This season was a sophomore slump, in my opinion. It was way too dark, way too down, and too heavy relying on the Danny storyline of being a drunk. I kind of at some point felt bad for him because clearly he is struggling, but to make that like the centerpiece of an entire season, I didn't like that. I went and looked at his IMDb page. he did star in a movie that was making fun of Fast and Furious that came out in movie theaters in 2015. I hadn't remembered it. It cost like $20 million to make, and it made money.
Yeah. It would be interesting to know if he gets work out of this. Or is this the only thing he can do now?
Yeah.
I feel like he's probably a good voiceover actor.
Yeah. I mean...
if I were his agent, I would be pitching that.
Yeah, and I'd be saying, get off this show. You're going to hurt your reputation. You're being called an alcoholic every day.
Yeah. Well, what are you guys covering on the show right now?
We are people like Traders. So we're doing season 1 of Traders behind our paywall. And then we're doing Below Deck in Orange County. And then next week we start Salt Lake, which I just fell in love with that show last year. So amazing. What a mess. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Well, tell everybody where they can follow you.
Sure. Bad TV Podcast, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you'd like to hear us recap, well, we have a whole archive of stuff of shows we've recapped at patreon.com/another podcast network. And give us a little
Pat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kate. Always fun.
I want to thank my great guest, Patrick Hickey, and remind you to make sure that you subscribe to this show. Make sure you subscribe to the What to Watch list at katecasey.substack.com, the bonus podcast on Apple Podcast and on Patreon. Make sure that you are in the Facebook group, Reality Life with Kate Casey, and follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram at KatecaseyCA, TikTok, it's Kate Casey, and Twitter, Threads, and Blue Sky at Kate Casey.